exactly. Both teams here are disciplined. Now look how far they're out trying to run their offense. It's different. It's so far out. We'll take a couple more dribbles to get to the basket.
And that three-point line messes with your depth perception. No worries, though. At least not in the case of 71st Xavier Tubbs Matthews, our premier player, the hardy star player to watch on that side, with the first bucket for the Crew in deep red.
Both teams are very patient offensively, which is really good.
King gets the roll, just a little kiss off the front of the rim. Both teams suddenly on the board. A bucket apiece, and now a three ball that rattles down. How about this start for 71st Tubb Matthews? He's got him rolling. And here's a three ball on the other end, looking for the answer. That won't go for Josh Mahata, who, as we told you, is wearing jersey number 15. On the roster is number 11. Likes to fit a little better this go round. Too strong off the glass, but right there for the putback is James Scott. He's in the scorebook. No whistle. Actually, yes, we do get a whistle down there. Don't just build, build tough, sponsoring our free throws here in this opening period of today's 3A title game. Chancellor Morrow unable to get the first to go down. Another one coming in what is a 7-2 start for the Falcons of 71st out of United 8-3A. This one will go down, so the inbound coming for 71st and handled under the bucket by Dockery. A little pressure here, Coach. Lions dialing it up with that need for a transition chance, and we get a foul on the other end of the floor. Well, if you could crawl into his mind for a moment, what do you think Tony Jones is right now looking at as he glances at that scoreboard, sees his team
his first year
out front 7-3.
First year, and he's excited, and he's changed. He changed the mentality there. He said the kids are unselfish. Both these teams right now are just showing unselfishness.
He's got a staff of Dontrell Snow and Mike Dowell who have come alongside him and helped build this program. You have to give credit to those who do the hard work, the labor of love behind the scenes for these front men like Tony Jones, and on the other bench, Jacoby Davis. Quite a staff he's put together. We'll highlight before the day is done as well. 7-2 start for the Falcons. And West Charlotte looking for an answer. They're keeping it in the hands of Morrow, as you might expect. A lot of folks in the building thought maybe that was...
Oh, very good, very good. Scoring points.
4:40 and ticking downward to go in the opening period. How about weaving through? What a dish! The finish is going to grab your attention for Jared Davis, but the distributor... These things.
They're very close to Jim, and Derek Wittenberg was on our staff. He was on the national championship team here at Georgia Tech. Derek was with us.
Makes for a great day when you think about all the pageantry, the history, and now these young men get to write the newest chapter in this sport.
I love my friends.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
The history of the ACC has been on.
It's been amazing.
Tremendous.
Yes.
I've got up to the 7th episode, and that's where Bobby Crimmins and that's where Mike Krzyzewski just started. And by the way, I say this, but I was one of the coaches that beat Mike at Duke.
Now within 3 at 9-6. Key possession for a Falcons team that had controlled the pace of this game early. And a foul underneath. That's going to be on West Charlotte's Ali Alford, one of the junior guards. And it will end up sending Xavier Tubbs Matthews to the line. What do you think of Xavier Tubbs Matthews' play so far?
I tell you what, right now, just looking at it, he's really good. And he's going to run the show here. He's confident going off that screen right at the basket, passing. He sees the court very well.
3A championship game well underway in Raleigh. Kevin Cantwell's alongside Jason Patterson here, our crew, giving you these great pictures. We've already seen some of the history of the building. You've caught a sense of just how packed this facility is today. I mean, there's a group still coming in, and throughout the day, the different fan bases will fill it up, empty it, and fill it up again, but there's a lot of energy in the building. Coming down the floor with it, the Lions.
The coach made adjustments at halftime. Coach Jones, he's going to do a 3-2 zone. You got to get the ball to the corners against a 3-2.
3 passes for some of these players, and the opposing coach shaking his head as one coach talks about how many of the players are juniors. The other talking about his freshmen, and the coach says, man, you mean we got to deal with these guys for a few more years? That's the case for so many of these stars.
I tell you what, I've watched this game for 6 minutes. I did my whole life.
Back next year. Quick takeaway for West Charlotte. And the Lions too strong off the glass and into the tall trees. It is cleaned out by Derek Green. Wide open underneath initially, but trying to recover was Raymond, and he's going to be whistled for the foul underneath.
That's a tough call because, I don't know, it could have been a jump ball. It's a 50-50 call, but a foul's a foul.
So
that's that far out.
Yeah, you're out on the Wolfpack logo at that point where they're beginning things. The baseline not there, and dribbling it out of bounds. It will belong to the Falcons.
But they're getting the ball in the corner, and that's against a 2-3. You run the offense out of the top of the circle, but in a 3-2, you go out of the corners and you run it. And
well, we hope to have some stats for you by the end of the period. We're told that they're going to run some over. I'm really interested to see where some of these numbers are specifically. We have a pretty good sense of it, what we're keeping by hand here, but it's going to be interesting to see just how well the Falcons have performed in this first half and what the numbers bear out as they built a 15-8 lead. Battled with a couple of his own, and that will send Morrow to the charity stripe and gives us a chance to remind you toward the end of the period here that Builders Discount wanting to give you the resources to not just build, but build tough. And here's his first delivery from the Builders Discount Center free throw line on this trip. And body language tells it all. Couldn't sink it.
One thing about both of these teams, they have depth. So foul trouble, it could be big time.
Materials real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Parenthood. Not a job for the faint of heart.
Easy on the break.
It takes nerves of steel, patience of a saint, and a pretty strong grip on your senses. At Ingalls, we know that part of being a good parent is knowing when to hold on for dear life and knowing when to let go. So here's to the moms and dads who board this roller coaster, knowing they're in for the ride of a lifetime. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
For the crew out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. They were able to create a little foul trouble for Chancellor Morrow. They attacked the basket. They jumped out to an early lead and carried that advantage into the second quarter.
Yeah, what I noticed was everybody was a little nervous. They weren't, now they've picked it up defensively. I noticed on the defensive end, everybody looked like it was scared on both teams. The 71st got out, but I really believe because for whatever reason, West Charlotte can come out and play hard man-to-man. The 71st does not want to do that. They want to over-dribble because he's going to get caught. Because with the pressure defense, you can get in a lot of trouble doing that.
Driving down to paint, and there's some points in the paint. We're tracking them all day for you. The points in the paint brought to you by our friends at Hardee's. They got the new Bacon Beast menu, crispy bacon and a burger, biscuit, or breakfast burrito, all there for you. Points in the paint. There'll be many of them throughout the day, and we'll track them as the day rolls along. Quickly back the other way, looking for another is Tubbs Matthews, and this time he will draw the foul. High off the window, and the putback, true. Just a little touch from Randy Dockery.
defensively, West Char did not get back on defense there.
Rebounded quickly. Waylon Robinson gives it off to Tubbs Matthews. Tubbs Matthews forces one through, and Davis forces it up and in. North Carolina High School Athletic Association Basketball Championships. What a day it's going to be here in Raleigh. Starts with the one you're watching at 2:30. We're going to have the Falcons of Birdie, the Bishop McGinnis battle there to finish things. And then, of course, we'll have a couple of more 1A and 3A battles before all is said and done. And you'll want to stick around at the half, the myspot.northcarolina.gov halftime report, reminding you vaccines available for everybody who would like them in North Carolina. We'll have a special interview with Commissioner Tucker from the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. First half highlights, a whole lot more, all available to you as part of the halftime report, the myspot.nc.gov halftime report to be specific. Back to work inside 5.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Took just a moment for Tubbs Matthews to gather it up, and then quickly taken away by West Charlotte. Lions on the turnaround. A little kick out, wide open look, front of the iron in the bid for the three-pointer. To go right-handed and lay it in is Josh Mahata.
They're attacking the middle of the zone right now, which is really good, because the way that I said to run it in the corners, but this is a matchup zone, so that's not going to work. Right now they're taking it at the top and they're going to the basket, which right now is working.
Left side, off the window, and it rolls through the iron, but there's all the size, boy. Does he eat up some space in the interior? Derek Green lays it back, and now a whistle as contact happens at the three-point line at the 3:39 mark. Brings us to our timeout mid-second. We'll be back with more of the 3A title game from Raleigh right after these messages.
100 counties in North Carolina, we have over 800 agents. We are within the communities, and our job is to help you. It's not just a business relationship, it's a friendship. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Well, a reminder at the conclusion of today's contest, we'll be selecting the West Shore Home Player of the Game. West Shore Home bringing happiness to every home. And some candidates already. We showed you Chancellor Morrow at the outset. Xavier Tubbs Matthews has been as advertised in this contest. In fact, with stats now in effect in the building here in Raleigh, we have been informed 8 points right now having been secured by Tubbs Matthews already, and Chancellor Morrow with 5. Both of them, as you might expect, leading their respective teams in the scoring category. A little too strong. Gathered up by James Scott, and James Scott with the outlet to DeAndre Nance. Nance taking it. The flush belonging to James Scott. He was trailing, and the lead grows to 12.
Well, Scott's a nice-looking player. For a young player, he's going to be a nice, really good college player, I think. I think I'm right. I don't think anybody's hit a 3 yet.
No, West Shore Home 3. Mahata rising high above with 2:04 to play in the half. And he earned a trip to the line to go along with it, trying for 3 the old-fashioned way. Anything you can do. What's the old saying, Coach? Other end of the floor for Mahata out front. And a tough break for the Falcons as he also drew contact coming down, and will have one more from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw line.
I'm not sure that was a foul. It wasn't a foul. He was trying to stop him from falling down.
Ends up the recipient of the whistle. What do they say about no good deed?
Right.
Here comes the and one opportunity, going to roll off. That's gathered up by Derek Green. What a moment that was.
West Char has to look at the foul line if they don't score
and
points.
right back, here's a spurt for West Charlotte. Defense shows back. Smothering defensive effort, and now it gets a little testy once more. And the officials, Johnny on the spot to get right between these competitors as they send the Falcons to one bench and the Lions to a
3-4 point game.
Well, getting a little wild here in Raleigh. We're told that it is snowing outside. It's heating up inside between these two teams as we close in on the half, Coach Cantwell.
It just adds to the atmosphere.
Absolutely. And why not? We'll build a snowman when we leave here tonight, right?
Oh, exactly. I was talking more about it on the court.
Yeah, this floor. And what happens on this floor, we've been reminded the last couple of years, pales in comparison to the things that really matter. But between these stripes, this is what you've been playing for a lifetime.
And what happens is after they know they were coming, so for 4 days, everybody
on this end.
You know, 71st, they threw the ball against the pressure. They threw it to the middle. You know, there's one thing high school kids don't understand. They got to throw the ball harder. I mean, he had the right person, but the ball took so long to get there. The defender got around and stole it.
You grow into it.
I call them high school passes. Got to get rid of the high school passes.
You know, these high schoolers battling it out for a 3A championship, giving every bit of energy to it. Kick top. Shot not there. Basketball no longer there. Completely taken away by King, and King rolls it in on the other end of the floor. Nice coast to coast for King.
71st has to do a better job with taking care of the basketball. Too many turnovers.
Final half minute coming. There's our player to watch pregame, Tubbs Matthews, too strong. Here's King again. What a finish to the period for West Charlotte as it's cleaned up by Donovan Raymond slicing in. Raymond to the line, yet another North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw coming, and Raymond looking for three the old-fashioned way. Well, you said these teams are deep.
He sees the court, he moves well, he's only a junior.
High praise coming for the big man in the interior for the crew out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And they lead it, but not by the sizable margin they enjoyed the majority of the half. You look up at the scoreboard all of a sudden, and even with that North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw, it's now just 36-31 this basketball game, tightening quickly.
And it came with 71st turning the ball over. They were giving him easy baskets, and that's what they picked up their defense. The pressure defense has done it. They didn't come out that way, but they did after the first time out.
Morrow and company push it up the floor. Here's King again. And Morrow, after the contact for King, at least one more foul here with 8.8 to play. And that's going to be against Derek Green. For Green, he ends up picking up his first personal foul. ncdps.gov to find out how you can start your career with the North Carolina Department of Public Safety today. That rolls everywhere on the rim and eventually falls. 41 all between these two teams in the early stages of the third quarter. We're all knotted up, and they're all knotted up underneath the bucket, and we get a whistle with 6:29 to play.
Well, West Charlotte, they made a foul shot, and they made it three. And that's something they didn't do in the first half.
Yeah, big changes right there. When you talk adjustments, they made them right out of the locker room. And some of that has to be, Coach, the calm is now there. There's so much talk about the environment, the new arena. Now you're down to playing basketball. That stayed up, and it will be added to the tally as they were up on top. Now you're down to just getting back to what you've done in high school gyms all across the state all season long.
The 71st has to do a better job getting back on defense. They've given up about 6 buckets, not getting back. Transition defense.
West Charlotte looking for the advantage, and for the first time, they have it. 43-41 Lions with 6 and change remaining in the third quarter. A run to begin the third quarter, matching the spurt to end the half for the Lions. And here's West Charlotte looking for that title. And out front, traveling call will hand it right back to the Lions. You know, Chancellor Morrow has talked about it. They came so close his freshman season to winning the title. Couldn't close the deal. Back here with another opportunity.
Down. Because the game could get out of hand right here.
Lions up 45-41. The and one chance is coming for Ali Alford. Take a look at the outstanding work. Cleaned up by Mahata, and Alford underneath somehow willed it to the bottom of the net.
He really did it. Again, turnovers. And Morrow has a nice, it took a really NBA 3 there, but it was a nice looking shot. Really does.
And I'll go back to it. We kind of had to brush over it as action was happening, but these teams 1 for 4 for 71st, 0 for 7 for West Charlotte in the first half from behind the arc. And maybe it comes as no surprise that first 3 ball that went down for West Charlotte was a part of the spurt that has pushed them ahead in this contest.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Well, everybody needed that timeout, if for nothing else, to catch their breath here at the start of a highly entertaining third period. And reminder, this is just the first of 4 for you today. Coming up at 2:30, we got the 1A girls. We'll have a 5 o'clock 1A boys showdown, and then it all culminates tonight at 7:30 when the 3A women's title between the Northwood Chargers and the Inca Jets will be taking place right here on this floor. You locked in all day?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
And, I talk about shooting threes. The threes that are tough to shoot with depth perception are the ones at the top of the circle facing the basket. The corner threes is a lot easier, and that's the one that Charlotte made.
Well, another chance at the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw line. We're going to give you that address one more time, ncdps.gov/careers. I know a number of folks out there looking for what's the next phase of life going to be like. Good chance to make a difference in your community. Check out that website. Chance.
Yeah, I hope James Scott stays on the floor, because I'd like to see him play.
A little short on the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw, but it worked out for his crew. And there is the trip down the floor the Falcons had been needing. It's a 1-point game. And that was lost out of bounds, untouched by Jared Davis. So it'll belong to 71st after all. These two, in that first half of action between these two teams, 14 assists to 71st, 9 assists to these West Charlotte players. And down the lane, Scott Flight in there once again, could put that back. But fighting for it is Tubbs Matthews, who comes back into the interior. Another takes us to the media timeout with 3:33 remaining in the third. Lions 46, Falcons 45. Nothing settled yet for the 3A title.
You want to be the best officer you can be.
For home, and they are sponsoring our player of the game. What a journey for these two teams on the West Charlotte side of things. Everything getting rolling from a playoff standpoint against Pisgah, then able to roll through Ledford, North Iredell, Ben L. Smith, and then of course you know what's happened the last couple of weeks in the semifinals as they work, despite having 4 fouls quickly in this game.
Yeah, and I tell you, they're not containing him, and he gets by a player, he's going to make a good decision.
A little too strong. Morrow, he's there, lays it back. Trade buckets. Matthews, 10 for Scott. You get that kind of production from that trio, you feel pretty good about where you're going to be down the stretch in the 3A title game.
And I like what Coach Jones did, taking Matthews off the ball a little, bringing the ball up, and having somebody else do it.
Major adjustment. And again, a little bit of an exhale from Xavier Tubbs Matthews, the junior, as he now locks in on his next North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw.
Yeah, he's a winner. Boy, he goes after everything. And I think it's good that he's not bringing the ball. We'll see him in another part of the game.
Subbing in, Dockery a part of things now. And West Charlotte going to give a breather to Ollie Alford.
Now, they're tall now. They put Scott in the backcourt. It's a 1-3-1. And they got
into the game for West.
Sorry,
Coach. Into the game for West Charlotte, by the way. Number 11, that's Elijah Simmons, a senior. And our officials going to get together on this one. And end up awarding the basketball to the Lions in the corner.
Yeah,
you like that call?
Yeah, it wasn't a walk. He put the ball in the foot. The ball was hit out of his hand.
Enough disruption there.
Yeah.
Once more, haven't called his name yet today, but Elijah Simmons just a moment ago coming into the contest. That fired a bit too strong down on the press row, and it'll be a turnover with 1:24 to go.
So can you imagine Scott up at the top and you're trying to throw the ball? You can't see over it. It's a great move having him the tallest guy up in the front of the defense.
Well, point with under a minute to go in the third.
Mirror image of each other. That's what we said.
Well,
great matchup.
Scoreboard proves it out.
Here's Matthews again.
King was fighting for that, but it ended up behind the backboard, and it'll belong to the Lions, headed the other way with 39 seconds remaining. Substitution, Alford coming back, and sitting down as Alford returns is Traylor, and he's not the only one coming. Another opportunity for Donovan Raymond, the big man, back into the contest for West Charlotte.
You know, when Matthews gets that far in the paint, he needs to kick the ball out and get some shots. And he's trying to take some tough shots that have very low percentage of going in.
Ari Day brought the ball up the floor for West Charlotte into this combination. And a little floater as he heads toward the paint for Alford. Inside 20. And off of Scott's fingertips, gathered up by Hassel in there, and he's fighting to look for help. He's got it. Guess who? James Scott again. Scott on fire down the stretch in the third, and at the horn, he has given the Falcons
siding and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuilderDiscount.net.
Shots down the stretch.
All right, just keep an eye on those for you as we work our way through here, because how critical was it that Scott was on the floor in that third period? He was the catalyst for so many of those highlight moments and those key moments for this Falcons team to hang in there, Coach.
Yeah, they were all on second shot.
Staff does see to Raymond. 15 for Scott, 13 for Tubbs Matthews, Jared Davis with 11. That trio in double figures for 71st. And 11 points for Morrow, 14 to lead the way for King. The leaders for West Charlotte. Those are your Legacy Federal Credit Union stats. But Coach, Raymond has been playing valiantly in there with 4 fouls. He has 4 points and also a couple of key blocks in this championship contest, and he'll work his way over to that Lions bench. And good news is he's at least under his own power, a little gingerly as he works his way over there, but able to get up and head for the bench. And again, a couple of buckets to his credit, a couple of blocks to his credit, and 10 solid minutes on the floor for West Charlotte today.
Because the pressure
ends up going against the Falcons of 71st. Again, this is the largest deficit they have faced. Let's not let this moment pass by without indicating. They at one time led by 12. They now trail by 5. That's the largest deficit. That's the window this game has been played in from the opening tip.
And watch the shot selection. Watch both teams. Need to get good looks.
You only have 5.5 left in your high school season to get those good looks. The championship trophy going to go to one of these participants in about 5.5 minutes. Just enough to will it home for the leading scorer, Landon King. He has 16 to pace West Charlotte in the title game. And a fight for it underneath on the other end of the floor. Jared Davis rattles one home.
He has that spin move.
Davis with 13. He, Tubbs, Matthews, and Scott all in double digits for the Falcons. And here's a foul with 4:57 to go. 6 fouls against the Falcons. Now 7, 5 of them against the Lions, holding steady. And to the North Carolina, or check that, to the Builders Discount Center free throw line here in the 4th period is West Charlotte's trailer.
It's the first time since the beginning of the game 71st has gone through that shot. It started with a bad shot by 71st.
65-56. This has helped West Charlotte build its largest lead. We said it when he was in the early stages of his career. They came oh so close to a title. Chancellor Morrow has worked to get this team back since. He has the block on the defensive end, and he'll be the trailer with the finish on the offensive end of the floor.
Exactly.
What a sequence for Chancellor Morrow. What a sequence for the West Charlotte Lions.
You know, taking that shot, it was blocked, but it was blocked almost when it left his hand, so it wasn't a good shot.
Afternoon, eventually we'll turn to evening of basketball in the state capital of North Carolina. Pleasure to have you along for the journey. All across North Carolina, South Carolina, connecting portions of Tennessee and Georgia. Our pleasure to have you joining us into the state of Virginia, where so many of these players perform. By the way, haven't talked a lot about it, but you know Chancellor Morrow, he's going to be playing in these ACC environments. He's headed to Louisville, going to be a Louisville Cardinal. The young man wearing number 3 for the Lions, who was such a key part of this lead having been built to 65. Under 4 remaining in the 3A state championship game, and the Falcons got to work hard to keep the Lions from slipping away right now. They've really put this Falcons crew at arm's length. The largest deficit that 71st has faced, and West Charlotte looking to try to close down what they hope would be that elusive title from a few years ago, Coach.
If 71st wants to get back in the game, they can't turn it over. They have to get decent shots. They got to score.
The Builders discount free throw
In the game, but the turnovers, a lot of turnovers against the pressure, and it's giving West Charlotte a lot of points.
Well, we're glancing one more time at the Legacy Federal Credit Union statistics as they currently stand. The Legacy Federal Credit Union by 12 points and have completely flipped the script with the way they answered out of the intermission.
In the first half now, I think if they would have made half of their foul shots, the game would have been 12 points. And this half, they're making their foul shots. But they've kept their composure, and they didn't get down on themselves because this is it's a big stage.
6 lead changes, 6 ties along the way between these two, and a 3A championship appearing to be on the horizon if West Charlotte can salt this away. But there's still plenty of time for 71st to make a run at it as they gather up and discuss on the far side these final 2:05. A reminder, you want to stick around. After about a half-hour gap, we'll take a breather and then come back at 2:30 with Falconsford. Again, and Alford gathering it up, and precious seconds continue to roll off that game clock. You're wondering about the scores and blue blood programs in this sport. They're in Louisville as he will travel around the ACC with the Cardinals. Going to trade his uniform in for one similar to the one he's opposing here today, one similar to the colors that he sees all around this building. And he's going to be quite the performer.
This is not something to do because they wouldn't get those open looks. They did a lot.
Something else we hadn't seen a lot, just the second three-pointer in the contest for 71st. We saw that big three for West Charlotte a little earlier, but it's been a rarity,
but
that West Shore three today.
And where it came from, that was beyond the NBA line.
Yeah.
So
out on the Yao designation here, K-Yao Court at NC State. Another of the great figures in history of college basketball. So meaningful being on this floor for these players, making these lifetime memories. Under a minute to go, 77-62. Don't look now, 79-72. They never come easy, do they, Coach?
No.
No matter how sizable the lead down the stretch, you have to earn them.
You know what? At least they're not turning it over. They're taking shots, and they just happen to be going in.
So
might be too late.
To the Builders Discount Center free throw line is our leading scorer, Landon King. King well up over 20 points. 3 steals for King. Also has an assist, and he pulled down a trio of rebounds today.
West Charlotte's totally changed the foul shooting.
Yeah, they're going to end up somewhere right around 20 of 30 on the day. And the Lions are taking the title back to the Queen City. 83-72, not without one more moment for 71st, but time runs out, and it will be a championship for Queen City 3A, and the Burgundy and Gold have gone 22-9 to be atop the hill in 3A.
That's a tough, you know, obviously it's really easy to act when you win. It's tough to lose, and you have to learn how to lose and act, but it's on the championship floor. One team's got to go away, a winner, and one got to go away, a loser. And both teams play very
Perfect.
Whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're required by law to buckle up or face a fine up to $161. Click it or ticket. Every seat, every time.